All right, and I'm live. I am trying out some very strange setup here that you can see me a little bit, but well, obviously I want the focus on the cup. So I am painting on porcelain. It's a porcelain cup, small espresso cups for a Christmas market that we're going to be on in a week. So I have lots and lots to do, and so I'm trying to paint little small things that are fun and nice for people to kind of take with them when they visit the Christmas market, that aren't too expensive and too much work, but still kind of a fun little thing. So let's set up the camera here towards it. And what I want to do are just kind of simple little landscapes. With the paint that I'm using, it's non-drying, so I can just keep going here. So the most important thing is kind of to get the landscape kind of set up, and then I can just go from there. I'm just going to try to figure out where it has to be so that it's as detailed as possible. Maybe something like this. Yeah, so it's going to be kind of focus on small, easy landscapes. This is probably not going to be the last layer, but the nice thing is that since this is a non-drying paint, that I can just kind of keep on painting it. Let's see here. And I can just keep painting it. So I can just put the landscape here, and then I come back and I can keep kind of doing the paint and smush it out. So there's no time constraint or anything on it, which I really, really like with the porcelain. With the non-drying paint, there's lots of different paints that I can use, but this is my favorite when I'm doing things where I don't want to be rushed too much. So let's see, I'm just gonna have to get my hand here. And then I'm just gonna, or something like that. Well, I didn't really consider the fact that you can see all of these things now, but I think that's kind of, it's just a try, this. So I'm just gonna go around, I'm gonna paint some mountains here. And then I want some trees in the foreground, and then maybe some clouds and so on. The nice thing, of course, with porcelain paint, this is going to be burnt in a kiln, and then the paint is going to stick to the porcelain, and then I can always come back and do things on top of this layer later. But let's just go around. We're just going to get a different brush for this. So just to kind of establish the landscape first. Let's see here. So I need to just clean. But the nice thing is that now you can actually see me there. You can't see me very well because I have to have the focus on this one. But at least it's better than nothing, I think. This is, as I always say, I do hope I can get a better setup at some point, but this is the best I can do. Yeah, I'm hoping that I can see the chat, if there is a chat at some point. Hopefully I can see the messages. If not, well, then of course you can't really tell me. Well, let's see. If someone writes something at some point, then I'll know. Okay. So, bigger brush, and we can do this a little bit faster. So we're just gonna go get the mountains. Go all the way around. Just like to have the background here first, and then we can paint some trees on top of it. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to have a blue background, just a blue for the background, and then some really, really detailed trees in the foreground. So as we have them here, I have to keep figuring out where it should stand. All right, and then let's get the detail brush and go in and start to do the detail work. It's always something I enjoy, especially for the streams. I'm just gonna have to lean in and start. There we go. And I think you can see the lines quite well. So I think some old gnarled trees. I'm not sure if they're gonna have snow on them or not. Let's just make the... What I have to remember is I really, really don't want this to take too long for these, but I often kind of forget myself and get a little bit lost in the landscape. There's been so much to do. We're going to be on a Christmas market in a week, and I have so many kind of small things to paint now. Christmas orbs and talismans and all of that. So a lot of the work at the moment is really this kind of small detail work, which can take just as long as really, really large things if you don't, if you aren't careful. If I am not careful, there we are. Let's see if this... All right. So I kind of like it just like this. Some of them, or some of these trees might get some leaves and so on them, and I actually enjoy this. I think they're going to be a really cute addition to the Christmas market. Let's see here. There we are. I would really like to know if there is a chat here or not. I am not sure about that. So if anyone is here, would like to write something, I would really, really appreciate it. So that I can know. Maybe I'll have to move it, but usually there used to be a chat here. Of course, it's quite all right to just sit here in silence as well. Ah, there we are. Thank you, Navy Comp. I was getting a bit nervous that people might be chatting about and I couldn't read it. Okay, but I am very happy about this then. So yeah, as I said, we are going to have the first time ever we are going to be on a Christmas market. Yeah, it is a late stream, but I am working around the clock at the moment to get everything done. And I hadn't really started properly on these yet. But via Insta, that was not possible. Yeah, that's true. So this, very good. All right. I can't really tune the camera very well here, but hopefully you can see everything properly. You can see the trees and you can see the details. Keeps changing a little bit on me, but there we go. So we should probably turn it around the other way actually, so we can see the trees. But the problem is this little, is this. But I'll turn it all the way around and we can start a new tree here. So I have no idea if there is a market for small espresso cups, but I thought they were really cute and I got them with the kiln that I bought a while ago. Oh, very good. So I just had these cups. And I kind of need small little cute things for the market. We're gonna have a little stand and I have small candle glasses and lots of Christmas orbs and so on. So let's see, and it's kind of, I am very much at the moment painting miniature anyway. I'm going to start doing wood carvings. Oh, the chat is really quick. There we are. Machine, see if I can sell some things as well. Oh, wonderful. Oh, wood carving is brilliant. I always enjoy watching YouTube videos of different crafts people creating things. Good evening, Rahel. Welcome to the stream. The first stream in a long while. And that's the reason why it's so late too. I wasn't planning on doing a stream, and then I had these little cups. I had done all the glass painting that I could do. And I thought maybe just try. Espresso cups, huge market in Italy. Yeah, I can imagine that. I think actually in Norway now, more and more people have these espresso machines. So my hope is that, I mean, people didn't really know about espresso here for, I mean, it's not very long ago that it's even arrived properly. But I think now more and more people are actually Hello from hello to Rosmaria. Nice to have you here. Hopefully we'll see you at the Christmas market. The Christmas market that I'm painting for right now is in Røros, which is a small little town in the mountains, about an hour away from here. Also, your new yeah, Alva. Yeah, she's doing really, really well now. Um, really very scared of lots of things, but it's just so cute. Oh no, I have to watch my hand because the my, my brush keeps interfering with the zoom. This can still be perfected, all of this, I think. And I don't know how to get my camera to kind of stop zooming about here. So if I have it here, okay. Okay, so I have to hold it. It's a very interesting way of painting. Beat me to it. I was just going to ask how the pup is getting along. Yeah, she's really, really cute. Yeah, so she's doing really well. She's still scared of things and so on, much more than I know Ivy was, our other dog. But she's doing really, really well. And she's really waking Ivy up as to finally there's someone who he can actually run around with and play with. Let's see though, if I put this a little closer, then surely my brush can be closer too. Then that shouldn't interfere as much. I just have to try out a little bit. All right. All right, where was I? There we are. And then I think a little bit of leaf on some of those trees, a few clouds. I don't want to overdo it. I don't want to spend too much time on each of these. They shouldn't be too expensive. It should be something that people can kind of take with them as Christmas gifts. And the more time I spend on each, the more expensive I have to make them. How old are you again? 32? Yeah. Yes, I am 32. I wasn't really aware that that was yeah, that I had talked much about that. Yeah, I am. So I'm going to be 33 now in December. Just kind of scary. I really like the 30s. I am a bit afraid of the 40s, but it's still far away. So let's see, maybe a little bit of branches, as I said, on some. So these are pine trees, I think. So needles, obviously. It's winter. And I think the winter theme is probably going to be for most of these, even though I have some green ones that have to be kind of a little bit of summer or something. Oh no. Okay, I have to, oh god, I have to hold my brush on the side. This is a very, very interesting way of painting. Then I won't give you any info on the 50s. Oh god. Sure, they are coming as well. They are a bit further away though. What I have heard from a lot of people though, and there is apparently quite a bit of research to back this up, is that people in their 50s and 60s are much happier than the rest of us. So there is absolutely hope. Is this... what is it doing? If we go this... I am so sorry, but I do have to try. Okay, this obviously it doesn't understand. This it has problems with. This is fine, but then my... no. Oh, okay. And my brush just needs to be like really, really far away. I heard that Norwegians have their own version of julekalender. Oh god, these disappear fast. their own version of julekalendern, but I only watched the Swedish version. Yeah, there is always a julekalender. It's in NRK usually, I think. Haven't watched the latest ones in quite a few years, but there is usually there's always some show for Christmas. Absolutely. I have never watched the Swedish one. It's I think most people really keep to their country's julekalender. Oh my god. Okay. If I put this a bit further away, maybe that works better. Nope. Anyone have any idea how to fixate this? Only in the mirror you can see the perspective of all the small. Yeah, this is true. It looks really big here. Does anyone have any idea how we could fixate the cup in the camera? So I've been trying to hold it, but that isn't working. It's lovely that they're trying to kind of fix everything for us with these setups, and that the camera is automatic, except for when it doesn't understand what it's supposed to be doing. I heard as well when I took humanistic psychology, however, 50s are the danger zone, especially for my. Oh! I won't go into it. Sure. Oh. Ah. I am so sorry about this. Hi, Andreas. Welcome to the stream. I am having some technical issues because every time I paint, yeah, there aren't really any settings here. They try to make it as easy as possible, meaning they don't give you any options. Can you switch to manual focus? Well, I can't really do anything here. There aren't really any options. The thing, of course, maybe there is my camera surely must have a sensor that I can kind of stop. I really should have tried this out before I started painting. I did this last time as well. Well, give me a few minutes to take a shot out of focus. Well, there we are. Well, writing is a wonderful, wonderful way of creating things, I think. It's just about finding the thing that really fits for you. Maybe we have figured it out. It needed a bigger thing to focus on, and well, you don't need to see me very much, I think. Okay, this seems fine. Very good. All right, then we can focus in on the details here. Let me know if everything is suddenly blurred for a long time without me noticing. There are a lot of things to keep an eye on. Okay, so what I wanted to do is to have some little needles, but all of these trees can be really, really old. They don't have to have needles everywhere. Most of the branches can be bare. After I did my ancient forest launch a few months ago, all of the trees now are in that style. So a little bit like this, and then a few clouds, and I think maybe that's actually it. And then we'll just continue with the next one. I have lots and lots and lots of little cups. Clouds in orange. Let's see what kind of brush I need here. Maybe this. keep forgetting that you can actually kind of see me here. I'm just gonna have to clean this and pick up a little bit of orange. Sometimes, of course, I have to see if the orange even sticks. Yellow with porcelain paint has a tendency to just kill all other colors. I can add some white to it, and that should at least help it a little bit. With porcelain colors, everything is a little bit strange. I won't be able to see that. So what I thought is just some simple colors. Was nice to be in, have to go to bed. All right. Okay. Thank you so much, Lynn. Yeah, I'm completely out of what kind of times it is. I really did think it was Friday when I decided to do this live stream, and then I checked and realized, as far as I know, it is actually Thursday. All right, so I thought these probably aren't going to be as strong once it's burned, because yellow does have this nasty tendency of killing, especially reds and oranges. But I'm gonna try to paint this. I'm just gonna paint it once around, and then I'm gonna go over them again to smooth them out and make them more realistic. Can I do this without it killing? Yeah, okay. Almost Friday. Yes, it is almost Friday. So just take a day off from work tomorrow and stay here in the stream. Well, that's a good and the bad thing about being self-employed, is that you can stay up as late as you want to and sleep in, but there aren't really any weekends unless you create them. All right, and then we can go over it a bit more carefully. That's, as I said before, the lovely thing about what I'm painting with is I'm painting with colors that don't dry, meaning that there is no rush. You can just plop down the color and then you can go over it again and again and again. So just really pushing it around on the surface, but they never actually dry until it's been in the kiln. This isn't something you could ever do with any other kind of paint, except for that which you have in a kiln when you burn it. And it makes for a very different painting experience. I was thinking about, is this going to be too extreme? Yes. Sorry, that was much too extreme. At some point, I'm have to get things for a proper setup here. All right. Okay, so we've gone around once, and I think that's kind of cute. And let's move on to the next one. So I thought I'm just going to see if that's even going to show up here. What I wanted to do is I wanted to make quite a few northern lights cups. Not sure if that's going to show up, if you can see it, and if we can, I'm not sure if it's going to stay once it's burned. But why not try? I know that it worked quite well for the cups, and this shouldn't be that much different. So I'm just gonna create a little blue-green color here. And a tips for starting a business for the first time. Well, what kind of a business do you want to start? I'm probably only qualified to talk about very specifically what we are doing. What is your idea? And I think it depends a little bit on what kind of a personality you have, what the best strategy is. And I am sure there are people here in the chat that are better qualified than me. But if you tell us a little bit about what you want to do, maybe we can all help. Okay, let's see. So let's see if this is actually something we can. Yeah, you can see that. Okay. So let's paint the northern lights. Because this, I think, is probably going to stay, and then we can make stars and everything afterwards. A shop for my photography. Don't know if I'm good enough. Um, well, if you're good enough or not, I think that's probably rarely really the question. You have to make people, you have to find the right people that like what you do, the way you do it. Um, a shop for photography. Well, I can only give you a recommendation in talking about how we do it. And that's really to get that people get to know us, which is kind of why. So all of my customers are basically through Lena's YouTube account. So I'm quite privileged, and I can't really talk very authoritatively about how other people should do it because I'm kind of a little bit on a free ride there. Um, Oh, the government stuff here is actually quite easy. What you do is you just create your own company. You just do that all online. You create an enkelpersonsforetak. So all of the that kind of stuff isn't really that difficult. It would be to kind of get people interested in seeing what you do. Um, I know that for us, a lot of our customers, for instance, are actually Americans with kind of Norwegian ancestors and people that know us through Lena's videos and what we do and so on. So so for us, of course, it's really social media that then make people aware of us and interested, and then they buy something in our shop. But I know one thing that Lena was very good at that we did was there was the idea for the shop and for selling things that I have painted. And then we took a year. So we didn't just, okay, we're just going to create a site and then do it. We really took a year. We had the idea and then worked towards a set date to open it. So take time, plan, and some more time. And yeah, figure out, do you want to just get to be known locally? Do you want people in other places in the world to know you? Do you want to do it online? Do you, so and so on. I think that's as far as I can kind of give any advice. It's not my area of expertise at all. The United States is a little complicated. Each state and county and city can have their own tax rates and such. The government hates missing out on getting a cut of its money. Also, here we have, since the government knows a lot about you in Norway, much more than I would assume in the States, you can really do everything quite easily online. Because the government can basically get all of the information on you automatically, and all of the sites can too, which just makes things a lot easier. So just going to go around. This is just going to be the very first layer, and then we're going to go around and around and around. We're just establishing where the lights are. And then we're going to add different layers to this light. And then the stars are going to come all the way in the end. And I don't want, okay, I think this is it with the lights. And then we're just going to do the mountains in the same color as the light, because these are snowy mountains and the light is reflecting in the snow, and so they are the same kind of a greenish hue that the lights are here. Thank you. It's so scary, but I have thought about it for years. I'm just a little lost and I cannot work. All right. these comments disappear much too fast. Oh yeah, I know that very well. I think if it's your passion and you really burn for it, I think that's in many ways the most important thing. I know um, people that ask me if they how to do what kind of what I do, and the main thing I would just ask them right away is, are you willing to sacrifice your life for it? Because otherwise, I don't think it's going to be worth it. It really, really does have to be a passion, and it does sound like it is that for you. We need Joachim, big wool socks drinking. Hot chocolate and painting in front of a fireplace. Yes, that does sound very nice. Maybe that's the setup I should be aiming for. That sounds really, really nice. I am sitting above a heater here though, with a fire right around the little corner there. So it is. It's at least getting there. Okay, so one way around, and we have kind of set up where the lights are. Now I'm going to do the second layer, and that's going to be a little bit lighter uh, underneath here on the stripes, so that we get a little bit more of a glow, and then we're going to go on top of it again afterwards. So now it should start to glow a little bit more. And I need a different brush for this. So I like to paint the lights in different layers. Let's see here. So that it really glows properly. And then it comes around, and then we can add it here, and then we can add that in onto the mountains afterwards too. There. So I'm just going to go around again and adding the globe. So I like to do this in layers. It's the same thing with the stars I'm going to do afterwards. To really get it glowing, it needs to be done in layers here. It's so cozy just listening to the stream while knitting. Oh, that sounds really nice. Also, it's December now. Can't wait for Christmas. Oops. I got a bit distracted there. I very, very much agree. I'm really, really looking forward to the market. I think it's going to be a lot of fun, but I am also really, really looking forward to, to being finished for the year and having a break and celebrating Christmas and going skiing and so on, and I am going to paint, but I'm probably going to do more just relaxed and not so much for producing. So I am really looking forward to that now. Still quite a few things to do, but after it's the 7th until the 11th, the Christmas market, I believe, and then once that's done, then it's then everything is done for the year. Like always, these cups actually take a lot longer than I thought they might, just because I really do want them to look the way I kind of imagined them to do. And that does take a little bit of work here. I lost my job a few weeks ago. Oh, I'm sorry, Navy Cup. And I found this made... Oh yeah, true. Yeah, you mentioned that. They're scariest but very fulfilling from those I talk to. Probably should start Portuguese and German soon. Yeah, I think sometimes you'd really need, at least some of us do. I know I very much in the danger zone of I was scared to make the jump and really really put everything on trying to make it as an artist. So I always went back to kind of my plan B of studying political science and getting a job there. So I think in some ways I was just lucky that I didn't end up there, because I think it can be a little bit of a trap to find something uh, that doesn't force you to do these things. Photography is awesome, but selling photography is hard for any. An audience is important. Yeah, that is very true. An audience, I think, is probably one of the most important things. Um, I mean, Lena now has prints, and what we used to buy the prints ourselves and then send them to the customers, and now we're going to do it differently. There's a company in Germany that then prints it and ships it. Yes, I realized that, Stephen. It seemed Navy cop and the job seemed suspiciously much like like you. I didn't quite connect that until, but it's really nice to have you here in the stream, Stephen. You must have been in the streams at other times without me realizing it, surely. I was hoping I was just going to be able to pass off that I didn't understand that, and that you didn't realize that I hadn't understood who you are. But I'm glad glad you mentioned it so that it's clear. Out of all the courses I'm taking, intro in political science is one of the few I regret. Well, Miss Toby, I actually took intro to political science 3 times because I jumped to different universities every time I got scared of. I thought I wasn't going to be able to make it as an artist. So, intro to political science is one course I have a lot of familiarity with, taken it at least 3 times. Um, and never again. I mean, I have to admit, I really liked political science, but it's not something I want to work with. The last one I was in was called. That sounds a lot nicer. Don't know how to mention you in the chat or tag you, but I read your comments, Stephen. I'm also in the course. Yeah, you. Okay, that's the problem with always having different names and these things. We are hoping to make more modules for the course this spring. That would be really nice to get a little bit more life into it. It's kind of gone a bit dormant because we haven't really put any energy into it with so much else to do, and we didn't have the proper setup. But now with Lena's new camera and so on, hopefully we can breathe some new life into it with some new modules and more energy and focus on it. And I really, really hope that the course can start up again and get a little new life. At me. Well, yeah, very good. Okay, time for stars. I'll probably do it the other way around because when I turn this, I flip it the wrong way. So lots and lots of stars. Let's get the. I have to rest my hand here. Making stars properly is always dependent on having the perfect brush for this, but it's a really, really pleasing way to do it on porcelain here, because you get automatically a little bit of a shine, especially if you're going to smush it around and then leave a drop in the middle. You already have the shine of the star. I find that Röros is a very cultural little place. There are many artists. Röros is the perfect place. It's for the size of the city, there's an extreme amount of galleries and artists and creative people there. It's one of the reasons why we want to stay in this area, because Röros is really a magnet for creative people. And I've never seen a town of 5,000 people with a art gallery at every corner of the street. It's brilliant. So I think Röros is definitely the right place. And then making connections, and I mean, Röros you could do a little video blogs on kind of the life there. I know people are very interested in following Röros and what's happening there. Um, so I think definitely that should be your way into it, because that's what makes you different from everyone else. That is the place you live, and it's an incredibly magical place. I'm so looking forward to the Christmas market there. It's just the if you imagine a Christmas market in a story or something, it's the Christmas market in Röros, and it's the old town there, and the houses and the climate and everything. Then of course you have all of the tourists in the summer, and probably even now. I think there are special trains set up for the Christmas market, as there is at Rörosmarknaden, which is even bigger in February. But that's going to be really interesting. So, are we going to meet you? Are you going to be at the Christmas market? See, stars, 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 stars. Oh, wonderful, May. I am really curious to see if there are people that we know that are going to come. Of course, it is incredibly far away from absolutely everywhere else. Um, Maybe some of the people from Norway. And I think basically everyone from the area around here comes at least one day into the Christmas market. Stars is one of the most meditative things to paint, I think. At least in this way. Kind of imagine the big one I've seen on YouTube in Germany and Austria. Yeah, okay. That's true. Of course, that's a different kind of a size of the Christmas market. The Christmas market in Röros is really the small romantic version. It's nothing like the German Christmas markets. It's um it's more like kind of dropping into a little children's story, the Röros Christmas market, and you just feel transported to a different world. It is not like the German Christmas market. Now there are a lot fewer people. It's not as packed. I mean, you have the different market in February, where it is completely packed. But we were there at the Christmas market last year. Of course, we weren't at the opening, so maybe the opening is bigger. But it was really nice, and it wasn't too extreme at all. It was just really cute and really nice. Okay, once this is done, I'm probably gonna have to put it in the kiln first to see if all of this is gonna stay where it is, or if I'm probably gonna need a new layer to finish it off completely. And I have to paint the insides proper black and so on. But I mean, most of the work is probably done here, and I've probably gone a little bit overboard with the stars. I usually do. Hard to stop once you start painting stars. Okay, this is a little Northern Lights espresso mug. Then let's get right off to the next one. And let's paint Northern Lights there too, but I think in a different way. So lots and lots of different ways to paint the Northern Lights. This is the kind of the more traditional way, and I think Starry Night, yes. I'm all the way in Canada, so I can only imagine. That's probably a bit too far to travel. This is true. Well, that is of course a problem that most of the people that follow along and watch Lena's videos and so on are of course not even close to Norway. I mean, a huge amount of them are in the States, in Canada, for instance. Uh, okay, so this is a very different way of painting the lights. I'm not going to do any of the stripes. I'm just going to do the curving ways of it. I suppose in one way more of an abstract way, but the lights does behave like this as well. There are just a lot of different ways for the northern lights to behave. So let's get the color down first. And then we can go over it afterwards. And then of course we're gonna sprinkle on tons and tons of stars. Maybe a little bigger ones too. And they can radiate a bit. It's gonna be more of the kind of dreamy northern lights. But it should glow too, so there's still a bit to do here. Let's get some of those snow-clad mountains all the way around. With the same color as the lights, at least in the beginning here. Then I'm gonna have to make sure that I have the battery. I'm hoping that I'm not gonna make it too warm if I put my battery on here. Like so. And then we can go back and work on the lights. So I think kind of smearing it out a little bit more and then going back in. That's of course the trouble. It's really nice that the paint doesn't dry, but a problem with the fact that it doesn't dry is that there are things that you can't do. Stupid questions, but I take Lena learns Norwegian. Yes, she does. She can speak and she can read it already. It's when people speak really more quickly or in dialect, it's more of a problem. But absolutely. Are there any typical Norwegian Christmas tradition, maybe on the Christmas market? Let me think. Typical Norwegian. I mean, Maria could probably help me answer that. Are there any typical Norwegian? I mean, one Norwegian Christmas tradition is, well, we call it dancing around the Christmas tree, but it's more like you hold hands and you walk around in a circle around the Christmas tree and you sing Christmas songs. That's always something that our family from Germany found really, really strange. So I suppose that's more of a Norwegian tradition that's not really shared much anywhere else. Norwegian Christmas traditions. Let's see. Norwegian Christmas traditions at the Christmas market. Well, yeah, so walking around the Christmas tree, dancing around the Christmas tree is absolutely one. I'm not sure if that happens at the Christmas market. It happens at school kind of Christmas celebrations and so on. Yeah, not exactly like that. That probably was the strangest thing though for our German family. When they visited us at Christmas was always the dancing around the Christmas tree. Trying to think of different Christmas traditions. Fjøsnisse, I think, is very is very Norwegian, probably Swedish and Danish too. So fjøsnisse, Maria, would you explain the phenomenon of a fjøsnisse and putting out you probably have to explain the phenomenon of Nissa at all, because they look a little bit like small. I mean, I'm not entirely sure. Kind of gnomes. Hello, Ahmed. Welcome to the stream. We are talking about Norwegian Christmas traditions, and I'm kind of blanking, and I'm hoping that people can help me out here. Except for dancing around the Christmas tree. And Maria's just thought about the Fjøsnisse, which you have to. They do rampestrek, yeah. So they do tricks. They do the kind of mischief. If you don't put out food for them, they will start to ruin and wreck things on your farm. Just that Midsummer movie a couple of years ago, I wanted to ask. Oh God, it goes away really fast. My messages here. Let's see. There we are. Midsummer movie a couple of years ago. I wanted to ask my online Swedish friend if he was going to sacrifice me to the gods. Well, I haven't experienced a lot of sacrificing to the gods in Norway. I know that people are kind of there are movements of kind of new Norse religiosity, but I think a lot of those traditions are more invented than actual the old traditions. I mean, a lot of the traditions are old pagan traditions anyway. And they live in the barn. Yes, this is very true. The Fjøsnisse. Fjøsnisse basically means the barn nisse. And then the eating of grøt, what could that be? Kind of porridge, and then you have an almond in it, and if you find the almond, you get a marzipan pig. Yeah, these all don't seem that impressive, these different traditions. Okay, this Northern Lights is something I definitely going to have to come back to after it's been in the kiln once. Let's see if we can do a little bit of the. I can't paint it too thick because if I paint it too thick, it'll crack. So it's really important to paint it in layers. So what do we do on Christmas that is kind of this typical Norwegian? I mean, a lot of the Christmas culture and so on is really shared in the Germanic countries, England and Germany and Norway. I'm Navy. I have great grandma's Swedish and recently went to a bar and did some axe throwing. Well, I've never seen axe throwing here. It might be something that people usually do when they're away from from the country. But I mean, of course, at the kind of fairs at the countryside, there are these things like log throwing and so on. Christmas workshop, absolutely. At the schools, there's usually a Christmas workshop where you kind of do some old traditional things, candle making and so on. I think just a lot of these traditions are actually shared across cultures. And English Christmas is quite similar. Often I find that kind of Spanish Christmas and so on is much more different than English to Norwegian. And the Viking influence on England and the English influence on Scandinavia is so strong that the cultures are really, really very close. A few things that are different. There are no Christmas stockings. The Christmas are underneath the Christmas tree. And they are opened on Christmas Eve. It's a newer thing in the last couple of years. Small hand axes at a wood target. I have never seen that in Norway, but then again, I grew up in proximity to Oslo, and probably some of the stranger, funnier, or weird traditions are probably further out in the countryside. I haven't celebrated Christmas here with people yet. But traditions from Germany, like drinking glühwein. Yeah, exactly. So we have glühwein in Norwegian. It's gløgg. It's a little bit different, but it's quite a similar drink. Juleøl, Christmas beer. I really doubt that's a Norwegian tradition, though, is it? I would suspect that that's stolen from Germany or something. Oh, the German Christmas Krampus anti-Santa. That is very creepy. I grew up in Austria the first few years, and that's Krampus is more of a South German Austrian thing, and it's basically yeah, kind of almost like the devil, which Santa comes with Krampus in tow. I know my father in his village where he grew up in Germany. No, in Austria actually, when he was a little bit older, they had Krampus, and they had the Santa would come with two of the biggest guys in the village, chained up in with chains, and they would punish, well, threaten to punish the kids that haven't been good. It's a bit more of an extreme Christmas tradition, I have to say. I think nowadays, Krampus, they have some Krampus traditions still there in Austria and in the Alps in Germany. We don't have Krampus here, and they don't in northern Germany either. So a lot of the traditions that Lena knows are more similar to the Scandinavian traditions than in southern Germany, which is usually the culture that the rest of the world knows from Germany. Is more of the kind of Alpish, South Bavarian culture, and not the North German one, which is more similar to kind of Scandinavia and the Netherlands and so on, and the kind of trading cities like Hamburg. So these stars are going to disappear into the northern lights. The thing is, porcelain painting, it always turns out a little bit weaker than what it looks. So you have to paint the colors a little bit stronger, and then of course in layers. I'm very interested now to see tomorrow. The ice on our lake is freezing over right now. It always takes a while. We've had a few weeks of 20 minus, and then it got a little bit warmer again. But it takes a while for the entire huge lake to get cold enough to freeze, and I'm hoping that it's frozen without too much snow in it so that you can ice skate. Christmas beer sound good. We we do have beer advent calendars. Yeah, that sounds German. That is not something I have seen in Norway. So I grew up a little bit with a mixture of Christmas traditions. We have quite a few of the Christmas traditions from Germany from my father, and then we mixed it in with the Norwegian ones. So I'm a little bit culturally confused as it comes to Christmas traditions. One tradition that I always found really moving was that at Christmas, everyone goes and visits the grave of their family or loved ones, and puts candles on the grave. And so, in the middle of Oslo, the graveyard will be completely glowing at Christmas. Is this? Oh no! This is something I have to. Hopefully, that's not going to be a problem. It chips sometimes. If it's been burned at the wrong temperature, and these have, I'm hoping that this is going to repair it. I know that Finnish movie Rare Exports, very scary Christmas movie, but a thriller than a horror. I I don't really like, well, I do like thrillers actually, but I don't like horror movies, so you'll have to watch it first. Well, you said you probably have watched it if you consider it a thriller than a horror. I haven't seen anything like that. And for Christmas, surely the movies should be cute and nice, no? We have the very generic traditions: trees, stockings, gifts, lights, but nothing very cultural. I'm thinking researching Western cowboys traditions. Well, stocking is very much an English tradition, I think. We have nothing, we don't have Christmas stockings here. So I think that generic Christmas, the reason you think of it as a generic Christmas tradition is probably just because it's an English tradition. And so much of all of our culture is heavily, heavily, heavily influenced by England. So you kind of think of that as the kind of the the usual way of Christmas, but it's still its own special Christmas traditions. I do know in Australia, I remember that Santa came on a surfboard though. So it is possible, even in the English speaking world, to deviate substantially from what I consider proper Christmas celebrations. And celebrating Christmas in 40 degrees Celsius, just it seems very wrong to me. I think Santa comes on a surfboard in California too, though, but I'm not sure about that. And in Florida, it probably comes on an alligator. That is very true. I suppose anything that varies from that is different. It's easy to think what I'm used to is the generic. Yeah, exactly. English roots. Yeah, I suppose. And the States is probably a little bit of a blend because quite a few of the German traditions went in there too. Pinnekjøtt, and pinnekjøtt is probably very, very Norwegian, or at least Scandinavian. Pinnekjøtt is basically, is it sheep on cooked on wood, on sticks? Grew up with horrors, so I'm not bothered. But I still like the movies and show. I grew up with Home Alone, and yeah, something, things like that. I prefer. And then there's Home for Christmas, which is actually set in Røros. So if you want a Norwegian series about Christmas set in Røros, then Home for Christmas is a wonderful one. There we have that one, and should probably go to sleep soon. But I am gonna start another one. My dad's family is Swedish and Prussian, and I don't have as much knowledge on that line. Oh, right, you mentioned that you were kind of researching a bit. Prussian is quite interesting. My family, my grandmother's on my father's side, I think is Prussian from Königsberg, which is now in Poland. But often, if your family is from that area, they wouldn't talk too much about the time before the war. And a lot of the lands was lost already after the First World War. So it's been really, really difficult to find out much about the Prussian side, and I'm supposing that's probably for you as well, because if your family is Prussian, chances are there is history in Poland, which was then probably often at least lost. see here. Okay, so I think white on an orange background might be nice. And I can put in kind of some brown on top of that afterwards. Does anyone know what time it would be in mainland Europe now? I can't check my watch on my phone. And I'm not sure when the live stream started. Right now I am watching Historien om Sverige. People from northern Germany settled there and the Yeats from Gotland invaded, not gods. Yeah. Oh god, it's 30. Well, it's not too bad. Let's go around this once and then I should probably go to bed. Yeah, I really like those the history, and of course there are just so people's movements are always just so much more complicated than we used to think. Røros was actually, that's not a very old town. It's from the 1600s and was mostly actually run the copper mines by Germans. So there's quite a German history here. So the Norwegians didn't have the expertise, I think. All right, I am going to have to go to bed. Thank you everyone for joining me here, and I'm going to work a little bit on this setup. But a first apartment. Oh, congratulations, Maria! Wonderful. I'm getting distracted from doing it. Very good. All right, thank you everyone for joining. I'm just going to clean a little bit of the brushes, and it was really nice to do a live stream here. I needed to share it a little bit, and hopefully I have time for a few more before the Christmas market, and at least I'll see you there, Maria, and maybe other people from our different channels. So thank you everyone, and good night. Yeah, it was nice to have you here, Stephen. And now I know your YouTube name. So I will see you all very soon again.